Hello guys and welcome back to the Traitors Australia Season 1 Episode 5, and today guys we've got a dramatic episode to talk about. Not only are the traitors starting to turn on each other, but the faithful are hungry for some traitor blood. They've banished 4 of their own, 5 of their own have been murdered, and it's now coming down to 14 people, 4 of whom are traitors. So there's a significant proportion of traitors amongst them, and they don't even know it. There's only 10 faithful left. Guys, this is exciting. We're getting somewhere in this series. Yes! Woo! But if you guys are enjoying the series, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the road to 700, which is absolutely crazy. Never in a million years did I think I'd reach those kind of numbers. Doing this kind of content, like, I really didn't think that there was a market for someone just chatting shit about reality shows, but you guys are loving it, and I'm absolutely loving that you guys are loving it. So thank you for all your support. Some of you are absolutely incredible. And I love that you guys all comment in the in the comment section, and I love talking to you guys, hearing your thoughts and theories. So make sure you keep putting them down below. Celeb Big Brother is starting on Monday, so that means from Tuesday onwards it'll be kind of Celeb Big Brother content, and then the odd Traitors video whenever I get a free day. But you guys will enjoy that content regardless, because let's be honest, it's gonna be a good series of Celeb Big Brother regardless. It always is. There's never a dull moment in the Celeb Big Brother house. There's always some kind of drama going on. So if you enjoy, hit that subscribe button and let's get on with the video, shall we? Breakfast was interesting, mostly because we knew Justine was going to be murdered from like the third person that walked into the room. Like Kate was the third person to walk into the room, or maybe like Kate was like the 6th person, because I think it was all 4 traitors that came in first. So like she came in very early, and it just made me go, oh, so Justine has been murdered, because Justine and Matt were left until the end. Like I said, I don't feel like the American version of the show has really gotten the whole let's keep the 2 people that they were saying in the tower last night till last, because like it just makes better viewing, I guess. Does that not make sense? Like, it just keeps the suspense alive a little bit longer. Like, I worked out Justina died quite early on. Am I gutted Justina's left? Absolutely. I did really like Justine. I thought she was lovely. But it is what it is. You play the game, you lose the game. It is what it is. There's a lot of suspicion around Teresa, and Kate is starting to think it might be Teresa. Matt walked into the room last and was like, I'm going to state a theory, and the only way to prove I'm innocent is by uncovering a traitor. So your first traitor is Teresa. And Teresa was like, why? What evidence do you have that I am a traitor? What is this evidence that you speak of? Because like, and he was like, oh, the witness. And she was like, oh, but we squashed that. It's done. It's over. You're beating dead horses. Oh my god. And like, I completely agree. Teresa's my favourite of the series. I absolutely love her. She's so funny. She has the best one-liners. And then I just love her fiery side when she gets accused. Because I'm like, this woman knows she is innocent. And she's just defending herself with every single bit of vigour that she's got in her body. And I love it. I love it to pieces. But Matt, you little weasel, go home, please. I'm sick and tired of you. It's done. It's played out. Oh, yawn. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about was Marielle. Marielle is thinking it might be time to throw the faithful a bone and give them Angus, because Angus is currently the weak link of the traitors. I really thought it would be Marielle, but Marielle is actually turning out to be probably the strongest. Like, I'm a little bit surprised. I didn't think it would be that way. I thought Nigel would be the strongest. Nigel's still, like, completely undetected. But Marielle's doing a fantastic job. And she's like, yeah, I'm willing to turn on traitors. The only traitor they actually trust is Nigel. And I was like, rah, okay. And then like backing onto that, like Fee is still very sort of stuck on the fact that Angus made that flippant comment, and I was like, oh, again, more people flogging dead horses. It's tired. It's played out. He explained what he said. You misheard it. It's your problem. You mishear a lot of things, Fee. A lot of things, and it causes problems for people. So maybe learn from that, or don't. I don't care. But we're gonna move on to the mission. God, the mission was so boring. It was. It would have been like an all right one to participate in, but watching it was like watching paint dry. Teresa and Dirk had to describe different sculptures and statues that were sitting around the grounds of this mansion, and they had to then bring them to the scales to balance the sand, and if it balanced, then they would win the money. If it didn't, then they'd lose or whatever. It was an all right challenge. Like I said, I think it would have been more fun to participate in. A lot of these challenges look like they would be really fun to participate in, but just not fun to watch on TV. And I feel like this was one of them. And it was just like... Like, I didn't so much mind the trapdoor one in the last episode, because some people's reactions to falling through the trapdoor were hysterically funny. But this one was just a bit rubbish. And then when it came to the last group, Dirk was like, oh, you're looking for a lopsided Squidward and the thing from Spirited Away. And I was looking at him like, you've just said that to the group that has the oldest members in it. They're not going to know who the fuck Squidward is. They're not going to know who the fuck the thing from Spirited Away is. I mean, they did manage to get the correct ones, but that's not the point. It was great description from him, just wrong intended audience, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, little bit of a funny one. But the last team didn't manage to get the correct things. They brought out like this massive sculpture, and I looked at them like, you really think that that's going to balance that sand on that scale? Yeah, all right. Dream on, mate. Dream on. Yeah. Speaking of, the disappearing Paul finally reappeared for a little bit of screen time in this episode. I really thought he was going to die very early on in the series from what some of you guys were saying. But, like, does he make it, like, all the way to the end with, like, zero screen time? Because, like, I feel like there's definitely storylines that I'm missing with him. And it just makes it really jarring that, like, they really do use every camera angle but the ones involving his face. It's funny, isn't it? It is funny. But they managed to get $20,000 from that challenge. So they're up to $68,000, which still isn't a fucking great amount of money. That's horrendous. Yeah, I don't know. Here's what it is, innit? I'm so tired of these missions being a bit boring. Yeah. Can we just, like, I was so, when it's like the UK version, I'm so sort of like, yes. But then I guess that's because I'm watching, like, I'm not watching it back to back to back to back. Like, I'm not watching an episode recording, watching an episode recording, watching an episode recording. I'm watching an episode recording, and then I've got a whole day go past until I watch the next episode. So, yeah, is what it is. So, we're going to talk some suspicions now, and boy, there are some suspicions. People are starting to cotton on to the fact that Teresa's behaviour is now suspicious. They're thinking that she's, like, overcompensating for being sort of how loud and abrasive she is at times. I don't think that that's a problem. And then Matt is still banging on about those fucking witnesses. And I'm so sick and tired of hearing the word witness. Like, honestly, I'm so done. To the point where, like, I don't actually understand what part of his brain is not comprehending the fact that there was no witness. It was a misunderstanding. Olivia misheard. Fee misheard. Teresa just got her words lost in translation. How difficult is that to understand? I really am struggling to work that one out. But is what it is. Gonna move on. Fee is going after Angus because of the whole murder comment, which again is like, you just misheard him. He didn't say he wouldn't be so stupid as to say I was going to murder you tonight. Oh, that's too obvious. What he said, to be fair, he's not helping his case by every time he's asked, he's changing what he said. Because then Mark is also going around reminding people of Angus. And then Marielle is like, fuck, maybe I do need to vote for Angus. And then she's like, yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's definitely Angus. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Planting seeds. And then she goes to talk to Nigel and goes, Nige, mate. Nige. We need to vote Angus out. If we want to stay in this game, we need to A, throw the faithful a bone, and B, we need to be in the numbers to make sure it happens. And I was like, huh. Interesting they're not going to see Claire. But I think that's because Marielle doesn't really trust Claire. And that's becoming more and more obvious. So the fact that she's gone to Nigel with this plan could expose her. Or he could go along with it. And it could be a very, very good master plan on her part. So, guys, it is time for the round table. And honestly, this round table was a little bit chaotic, a little bit confusing, and we're just going to dive into it and do our best. Lots of people were talking up, and it was just a bit of a commotion. I've got so many notes, so let's just dive straight in. Lewis basically was like, well, Roger's just given us a clue saying that we should look somewhere that we haven't. And so maybe we need to start looking somewhere we haven't. And Mark was like, guys, everybody here has a very short memory because, like, 2 round tables ago, we came down to a 50-50 split on Angus. Why have we not followed through on that? Where have people's suspicions on Angus gone? Because, like, I haven't stopped being suspicious of him. I still think it's Angus. And Angus was like, yeah, that's fair. That's fair enough. Just on Angus currently, because, like, they kept on, like, jumping around to different people, but I'm going to try and talk about, like, suspect by suspect. Fee brought up the fact that the murder comment kind of threw her and makes her think that he might be guilty, but the murder comment was not it. Do you know what I mean? It just wasn't anything. She misheard it and she's now taken it and run with it, and Claire was even like, is he really that dumb to do that if he was a traitor? I don't think he would be. I don't think he would say out loud, oh, I was going to murder you tonight. I think that would be really stupid, and I don't think he's that dumb. And I was like, okay, so Claire's sticking up for him. That's interesting. And then Alex was like, well, actually, I think it's Angus as well. And then Marielle was like, I also think it's Angus. I have for a couple of weeks now, or like a couple of round tables. And then Fee was like, why did you fight so hard for that sort of, that shield? Why did you fight so hard? Because you didn't need to. If you're a traitor, that would protect you from banishment. But, like, why did you feel the need to fight so hard? And he was like, well, I was so close to being banished that I thought I might be on the chopping block again. And I wanted to sort of get further in the game. It's not really a good defense, if I'm being 100% honest. It is a bit of a lousy one. But I do appreciate what he was trying to say, where he was like, you guys almost voted me out, so I wanted some kind of, like, protection against being voted out. I do get that. And I do understand that, so I can't be that mad at it. But then Nigel was like, yeah, when you dunked me underwater, that actually kind of really scared me. I did kind of get a little bit scared. And Angus was like, rah, I'm so sorry. I did not realize, because he was like, Angus was basically, oh, it was all fun and games, it was all fun and games. And Nigel went, it really wasn't. I actually did get a little bit scared. And obviously this man, Nigel, has been held hostage. He's probably been waterboarded, let's be honest. So this poor guy probably started having, like, flashbacks to his time in captivity. This poor man, oh my god. So yeah, Angus, not really making a good case for yourself there. Yeah, not great on your part, if I'm being 100% honest, but is what it is. Do you know what I mean? And then we've got Matt bringing up the fact that, bringing it back to the trio, being like, oh, the people who voted for me were the people who are the traitors. So Fee or Teresa, you're the traitors, and I think it's Teresa. And Teresa was like, yo, it's not me. It's not me. Why are we bringing it back to me when we've, like, gone over this numerous times? A couple of people piped up and were like, oh, I also think it's you, Teresa, like Kate. But, like, it just seems to be Matt who has a fucking vendetta, and I'm sick of it, and I'm tired of it, and it's just so aggravating and annoying, and I'm done with it. And I think it was like it was just bringing it back to the blindsiding and the witness, and then Fee was like, it's been squashed. This is the second round table in a row that you've brought up the witness, and it's been squashed. I misunderstood. I'm sorry, but it's done. There's nothing else to talk about when it comes to that. So stop beating a dead horse. And it's just so frustrating. So yeah, this was just a really, really frustrating round table because so much was going on and they were really, really nailing Angus. And then Matt just comes in and is like, I think it's Teresa. I think it's Teresa. Meh. And I just think, oh, leave it out. Honestly, you're so close to getting Angus out that, like, if you dare try and come for Teresa, because, like, protect Teresa at all costs. I love her. It's just dead, innit? It's just dead. Because, like, you have a chance to get out a traitor here. Not that you know, but, like, is what it is. Anyway, let's move on to the vote. The voting is as follows. Fee voted for Angus. Teresa voted for Angus. Lewis voted for Teresa. Angus voted for Teresa. Dirk voted for Paul for some unknown reason. Why is Dirk literally the worst at this game? Like, what are these random votes that he's just throwing out for Paul? What's going on? Anyway, Nigel voted for Angus. Craig voted for Angus. Okay, yeah, Nigel voted for Angus. That was a shock. I didn't expect him to vote for Angus. But I guess after he'd put on the whole sort of, like, I'm scared thing. Or, like, he said that. I don't know if he put it on or not. But, like, after he said that, I kind of expected him to vote for Angus. But it still was a shock regardless. So, yeah, he voted for Angus. Craig voted for Angus. Matt voted for Teresa, obviously. Claire voted for Teresa. Marielle voted for Angus. Not a surprise. Mark voted for Angus. Alex voted for Angus. Paul voted for Claire. Why? And then Kate voted for Teresa. So, it was a close one. But Angus was voted out. And I gotta say, I'm sad to see him go, but he just didn't defend himself well enough. And he also he was unfortunately victim to so many difficult situations that he just couldn't worm himself out of. Like the whole sort of like Chloe situation that really put him on everyone's radar. And then the fact that he misspoke and said about murdering and just... Oh, it's just a long day, isn't it? It's a long day. And the fact that two of his traitor friends turned on him was interesting, to say the least. But honestly, it is what it is. Sad times ahead for Angus. He couldn't make it through the game. But it is what it is. We move on. And it's time to go to Traitors Tower. So, in Traitors Tower... Very interesting because it turns out that they're not actually going to be killing anybody tonight, which I thought was really, really interesting. They're actually choosing 3 people to gamble the prize money, and if they get it, they get triple the prize money. If they don't, they lose some of their prize money. So they have to choose 3 people from the whole cast. So it could be traitors, it could be faithfuls, it could be anybody. I don't really know what this twist is. I don't know. Is it a good one? Is it a bad one? It doesn't really help the traitors in any way. Like, progress their game, I guess. But I think that the traitors were doing such an absolutely fantastic job that they just needed to slow them down a little bit. Yeah, maybe that's why. But that is all we have time for today. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tomorrow, we are going to be starting Celebrity Big Brother, so I hope you guys are excited for that. We're going to be doing a countdown. Technically, by the time you're watching this, I will be hopefully in person in queue waiting to go watch Celebrity Big Brother, the launch show, in person, so I will be able to give you some inside tea, inside gossip the next day. But if you did enjoy this episode, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. That's most important. And yeah, we're trying to get to 700. You got to help us out with that. Every single number counts. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.